Welcome back to the channel. Today I would like to share a story with you. This story has always had a huge influence on my life. You see, when I was little and we sat down with my dad to watch TV, we didn't watch Disney movies. We watched the most epic 4x4 event of the time. We watched Camel Trophy. This event that has attracted millions of people around the globe and was held between 1981 and 1999. I was in awe. Grew fond of Land Rovers and the whole idea of off-road vehicles. I got my first RC crawler from my dad when I was 8, and I've continued that hobby for 18 years now. I wanted to share with you this little background of mine to help you see today's topic with similar joy and excitement as I do. I would like to showcase to you guys our new additions to the RC fleet, namely the D1RC Range Rover Classic 3-door from 1981 Camel Trophy and the Discovery One, also from D1RC, in both of them in full Camel Trophy setup and color and paint and every detail mimicking the Camel Trophy events. These rigs are wicked. You know me for driving on vertical walls and driving on competitions, but these new cars opened a whole new aspect of the RC world to me. Today, I'd like to give you a full breakdown and in-depth review of these cars. I found that available information on these cars is very limited, so I hope this video could be a guide for many in the future. Let's start with the exteriors and work our ways to the inside. The bodies are JS Scale or Team Refi. I honestly don't know what's the difference between the two. This one is of course the 3-door Range Rover Classic, and this one is the Discovery one. They both have 313mm wheelbase, and they come with openable doors, hoods, tailgates, full depth interior, detailed dash, and even mirrors included. These details are incredible to me, especially because I'm used to the dual Lexan bodies that I use for competitions. Here you can see all the opening doors and what they reveal. For the range, I made this very simple pull pal mount so that I can carry it in the trunk. I also like to keep my tow rope here. Of course, the cars are fully decorated with D1RC Camel Trophy accessories, bumpers, roof racks, both metal, full lights, light kits are included. Of course, the scale accessories on the roof, even the little gas tanks, spare tires. The Range has them on the roof rack. The Discovery has them on the back of the body. And also the sand ladders are metal and they actually function, so you can even use them on the trail if you need them. These details bring the cars to life and add depth and very much appreciated detail and texture and elevate the look to make them stand out and really feel realistic. We can reveal the chassis by simply opening the bodies on their hinges that mount to the back of the frame rails. Talking of which, the chassis rails are 4mm thick carbon fiber, and after months of heavy abuse and many rollovers, I can tell you they hold up great and actually support the vehicle very nicely. All the brackets are metal and every hardware is installed with Loctite, so you don't need to worry about screws coming loose on the trail. Of course, to super scale standards, every D1RC Camel rig comes with chassis mounted servo setup. As we move towards the front, you can see the transmission and the forward motor mount. Everything is metal here as well. The transmission comes with ball bearings and full metal gears, and comes well greased right from the factory, so you don't need to really worry about taking that apart. Both of our cars were dead silent when we got them, and we really appreciated that, but after several rounds in deep water, they have become kind of loud now, so that is something maybe I should look into in the future to see why they became so loud. Here you can see the 2-speed gear selector. Honestly, first gear is already fast enough, but second gear is so much fun for plowing through puddles and mud just like the real thing. The shocks make these camels float over terrain like boats. Of course, that is largely helped by the incredibly heavy, almost 3 kg each, hard bodies, but the way these cars move over obstacles looks perfect. The shocks are 85mm long, big bore, oil filled with very stiff springs to help hold the weight of the body. Let's go with the drive shafts next. We have 3 drive shafts, all 3 of them are metal, and honestly there's not much to say here. They have 5mm openings and metal, they are metal and they hold up well to very hard use as well. So I have no complaints there. As you move towards the bottom of the car, we can see metal links here. Also not much to say here. They are very durable. They are high clearance, so that is a nice detail and some added performance. They are stainless steel, I think, and 5 mm thick, and they also come with plastic rodents, but they are durable and they hold up great. Since we are already at the bottom of the car, let's talk about the axles. This is probably the biggest difference between the two, of course, outside of the body. So the Range Rover actually has its own axle housing design that is a D1RC specific. Also their Defender models come with these axles. What you need to know about this is that they are about 1 centimeter narrower than the standard axial AR44 or 45 axles, which helps keep the tires tucked inside the body and gives very nice scale look to the cars. It also offsets the pumpkin to the right side of the vehicle, which is the correct offset for the actual Range Rovers as well. However, my only complaint is that they are cast metal, so they are not very durable. I found this out because my rear axle housing arrived broken right out of the box. I guess it was smashed during delivery, and the axle housing close to the pumpkin snapped. I did, however, have a very positive experience with D1RC customer service. They were quick to respond and immediately sent me a full, complete rear axle so I could replace it. I did, however, decide to cut 7mm brass tubes and insert them into the both front and rear axle housings to give it some more rigidity. And D1RC did tell me that they would change the axle housing design or material to CNC machined aluminum in the future. So once that happens, I think the drivetrain becomes pretty much bulletproof. The gearing on these axles, the custom D1RC axles, is 12 tooth by 40. So it has its own gear set as well. So I used to think that I could just put axial AR44 gears inside, but that is not the case, unfortunately. And it also comes with universal axle shafts, so it actually has almost unrealistic amounts of steering. But me coming from competitions, I enjoy that little bit of extra performance. The Discovery has CNC machined aluminum axle housing already. They are the standard axial AR44 width, and they are actually much cleaner and probably slide over rocks also much easier. They don't have as much steering, but honestly, for these cars, that's not really a concern. It's still easily like 45 degrees or something like that, so it will get you around the trail, don't you worry about it. Both axles are single piece and only the third member, or in this case the diff cup, is removable, so that's how you can access the differential gears, but the C-hubs are not exchangeable, or you can't clock the C-hubs either, if that's something of your interest. Oh yeah, these axles are not just axial width, but also use the AR45 or the standard axial differential gears, and I'm pretty sure you could swap in AR45 axle shafts or even knuckles on this if you really wanted to. I think they are compatible. They are very close to be compatible, so that's for sure. Wheels and tires next, and honestly, this is a bit of a weird topic in this case because both these cars are about scale accuracy, and if you are into Land Rovers and you do care about these very scale accurate details, then you will know that actual Land Rovers come with 5 lug wheels. And for some reason, D1RC decided to sell these cars with 6 lug actual metal 1.9 and very good quality wheels, but they are 6 lug, and that's a bit of a weird thing to me. They do, however, also come with a little wheel nut caps that add a little more scale detail, and the tires are like crazy good in terms of performance. This one has aftermarket silicone inserts, so this looks thicker than it actually is at the moment. But when you mount it on a wheel, it narrows it down pretty nicely. And these cars have different tires, which is also a bit of a weird thing because some people get their discoveries with this tire, and some people have the one that my dad does, which I don't really understand. But the thing is, both perform very well, honestly, and I didn't have high hopes for these tires, neither of them, because they just look like the thread is too tight. But after many hours on the trails, I found that they clear out very nicely and actually chew through the loose terrain just like the real thing. So that was a very nice experience to have. As you can see, I did, however, change my wheel and tire combo on the Range Rover because I was after the more scale look. So I installed these Range Rover Classic wheels and these Boom Racing Trophy Classic tires, which are the exact thread pattern that they used on the actual Camel Trophy events and cars. So that's a nice detail added there. And I also did put, the wheel balancing weights, one ring of them on both of the front wheels on both cars to add a little bit more forward and lower bias to the cars, because the bodies are very heavy, and that little added performance was a huge improvement, I think. Okay, for the electronics, honestly, these cars both have top of the line electronic components powered by D1RC's own spec Fusion SEs, basically. So they are a version of the Fusion that D1RC specifically sets up and ships the cars with them. So it can take 2 to 3 as batteries, and it can somewhat use the programming card that we would use for the Fusion SEs, but it has a bit limited settings on them. I will attach a picture so that you can see it. Both of them come with 46 kilogram steering servos. Of course, they come with shifting servos for the 2-speed gearbox. It works well. I did burn mine up because a little rock was stuck in the shifting mechanism, and of course that's not something a servo would handle very well. But in my dad's car, it's been holding up great, and I could just replace mine with an Injora micro servo, so it was no big deal, honestly. Both cars come with full light kits, so headlights, like small lights, markers, and even roof lights, and they even have lights in the back here. So it actually, and of course, obviously, you have reverse lights and brake lights and the rear standard red lights as well. So that's a nice detail that I really appreciate, because I never really had any car that came with a full light kit before. The Discovery comes with a winch included. It's a scale winch, and honestly, it is very strong for what it is, and I didn't expect that. So if you get an RTR model, it isn't connected to the actual radio. It has its own little remote, like this infrared winch controller, and I don't find that to be very practical, but it gets the job done. I did add my own servo winch, so this one also has a winch now, but it is just a servo winch because I couldn't fit a scale winch with while keeping the body intact. I would have to cut and remove a lot of things, and I'm afraid to do that. We both run 22 or even up to 2800 milliamp batteries, 3S, and honestly, they are pretty lightweight and don't add much to the already heavy sprung weights of these cars, and we can get up to like 3 hours of runtime out of each if we are doing like hard technical trailing, or even building bridges just like they used to during the Rio Camel Trophy events as well. So that is a fun thing you could maybe try as well. And I don't think bigger batteries are really necessary. Overall, these rigs bring back old memories, and I really enjoy running them with my dad and taking pictures and videos, and they give me infinite joy, honestly. I'm very happy with the performance and reliability of both and look forward to my next time driving after each trail. Vertical rock falls are fun and I do still enjoy them, but somehow scale trails and rivers and the mud give me a new way of driving RCs, and the D1RC platform. Both these cars live up to my expectations, and I just really don't have anything to say, anything bad to say about these, and they just work, and I'm very happy with them. So they live up to every expectation I would have outside in the wild. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoy, and see you next time. Cheers.